Hello guys, welcome to this new GTA 6 Empire video. Today I'm presenting you this GTA 6 leak that nobody believed, and yet it's actually coming true. Don't hesitate to support the channel by subscribing and liking the video if you enjoyed the content. Happy watching!
Throughout the wait for GTA 6, we've been able to see the game leak in thousands of different ways. Who would have told us that the most secret project of the most confidential company in the industry would end up coming to light in the form of dozens of videos stolen by a hacker? With a photo taken inside Rockstar San Diego's very own studio by a video recorded by the friend of the son of one of the producers at his own home. And finally, but certainly not least, by a significant amount of information from a trustworthy source which, regrettably, appears to be fitting quite well with the recent developments we have witnessed concerning the project. This latest leak is going to be the main topic of today's video, and I want to be completely honest with you all. This particular leak was largely ignored at the time because it seemed quite disheartening, even though GameRoll, the user who originally shared it, had already proven to have a very reliable source. In April, he accurately shared the full names of the protagonists, perfectly matching what Rockstar would reveal in Trailer 2 just a few weeks later. The leak discusses numerous mechanics that we had hoped for in the game, and these have either been cut or, at this current stage of development, it remains uncertain if they will ultimately appear in the final product. That's why, at that moment, people, myself included, chose to listen to our hearts rather than fully believe this leak. But unfortunately, with each passing day, it makes more and more sense that it is indeed real. This leak consists of a great many details, many of which aren't all that important, but are still quite interesting to mention, and will make up the first half of this video, leaving the longer and more significant ones for the very end. Some of these details we already knew, and they are simply being reconfirmed. This is the case, for example, with the Greet and Provoke feature, which would be taking interaction with NPCs to the next level, possibly when combined with a rather advanced AI, making the city feel more alive than ever, allowing for the generation of conflicts and harmony depending on how you interact with them, given that their memories are likely operating on an entirely different level. This relationship with the environment will obviously bring reactions to what the player does. Going with your weapon drawn will bring about reactions, something that was lost between GTA 4 and GTA 5 and would return again for GTA 6. The leaked videos from 2022 allowed us to see many interesting details about the interface. The weapon wheel was one of those things. However, this leak is literally telling us that just a few days prior, they had already changed the weapon wheel for the third time during its ongoing development. The 6 stars are returning to the game, and it's very curious to think about the significant consequences that the existence of the 6th star of the wanted level will have, especially since this is precisely the point where the entire army used to relentlessly pursue you. In GTA 5, this doesn't occur no matter what you do, so the existence of a 6th star in GTA 6 could be a good indication that the military will once again play a role as an enemy in GTA 6's chases. The minimap would return to being rectangular, and details like the GPS route would be pink. The handling has been praised as the best in the series, showing they focused all their efforts on vehicle quality control. The gore and dismemberment mechanics from Red Dead Redemption 2 would likely not have been cut, as many people had anticipated, and we might very well get to enjoy them within the various fatalities in GTA 6. This particular scene of Jason purchasing beers would be actual gameplay, featuring Rockstar's classic edited camera style, much like when we customize our own camera angles in GTA 5 using the Rockstar editor. What's interesting about this is that it would be confirming that in GTA 6 we could go to the store, buy a pack of beers that we would have to physically carry, just like when we hunt in Red Dead Redemption 2, and then take it to our vehicle to store it later. There are no nudes, and explicit scenes would be avoided on camera with a change of shot or a subtle turn during the scene's progress. The headphones we saw in various images, which sparked speculation they could be a tool allowing us to listen to music anywhere in the game, actually have no function at this stage of development. It's unknown if there are plans to add this feature later, but considering how prominent they've been in many screenshots, it seems quite possible. What would have disappeared, unfortunately, is the crawling position. In many of the clips leaked in 2022, we saw many different walking styles. Crouching or crawling on the ground were the main focus, but it seems, at this stage of development, the protagonist can't crawl on the ground, leaving us to wonder if this was truly intended as part of the character's free movement, or if it was never the plan and only exists for a specific mission, like in Red Dead Redemption 2. Dual weapons cannot be utilized, and it's not possible to purchase or adopt any pets. Jason has an iguana that you are able to feed, even though in the trailer we did clearly see a snake, which is a little bit contradictory. The ankle monitor that has been shown to us so many times actually has no function in the game at this current stage of development. Moreover, Lucia disposes of it quite rapidly. It's important to note that this item is playing a special role in the game's advertisements, so it will likely end up having a purpose in the game and a function that limits us from leaving a specific area of the map. On the other hand, the fact that the protagonist gets rid of him quite early gives us a hint that Rockstar probably doesn't intend to restrict the player's free movement as much as in prior installments, so as not to condition the more rushed players who will only play in free mode. Among all this information, they mention that no character from previous GTA games has been seen returning. This is truly strange, as it's quite common in the series for this to happen. In any case, I wouldn't take this part too seriously, as it might be from a moment in the story that this person hasn't seen yet. What it does confirm for us with certainty is that the dialogue from the Port Gerhor motel pool, where what happened with Jay Norris in GTA 5 is mentioned, has been completely removed from the game. It makes sense, as it's one of the most famous clips that leaked in 2022, and as Rockstar subtly told us with Trailer 2. At one point, the mapping project for GTA 6 mentioned the possibility of a Disney World parody existing in the game. Given its real-world location and all that we don't know about the northern part of the map, it made perfect sense. However, this leak would be assuring us that such an amusement complex would not exist within the territory of Leonida. On the other hand, the source mentions more than 700 stores and interiors from a major open-world game. If this truly comes to pass, it would be absolutely insane, as we could then anticipate many of the game's doors finally opening up, giving us access not just to various businesses, but also to numerous houses where we might potentially be able to steal. Large shopping centres and towering skyscrapers would become fully accessible, although these latter ones would only feature an elevator to reach the rooftop at this current stage of development. The GTA 6 map would once again be an island, but without the Panhandle, which is basically the northwest salient that has been depicted in most community-made map projects. This area of the map has been spared from all leaks and hasn't been shown by far in any official trailer or screenshot. Many of us have speculated that it might be the unknown state of Gloriana, which has not yet been presented. But, according to this recent leak, this particular zone would simply not exist at all, leaving Mount Calaga as the absolute northernmost territory, and quite possibly a much, much smaller map than what we all had been expecting. I hope he's wrong, or that the delay had something to do with this part. The depths would once again be explorable, and even if at this stage of development they weren't as prominent as in GTA 5, we can still find secrets and hidden treasures in these areas. They also reveal that there would be no secret map like North Yanton or Guarma, which is quite strange since almost every Rockstar game in recent times has given us the surprise of traveling to another location beyond the main map. However, as I said, with claims related to the story, I wouldn't take them too seriously, as I doubt anyone at Rockstar would have been allowed to fully complete or have total access to the entire game's plot. GTA 6 would feature a relationship system that would function like Red Dead Redemption 2's Honor, allowing for a more toxic and chaotic or a more romantic and healthy relationship between the protagonists. This will probably be something that could unlock alternative scenes in the plot or different endings eventually. We also have a weight mechanic for the inventory of our characters. This would prevent carrying unrealistic amounts of items, forcing players to visibly carry the bulkiest and heaviest ones in their hands. Of course, equipping long weapons on the body and forcing us to store them in the trunk, just like with the horse in Red Dead Redemption 2. While these details are very realistic, they clearly sacrifice dynamism. In Red Dead Redemption 2, this is completely acceptable because of the slow pace of the work and the type of audience it's directed towards. But in a game as frantic as GTA, and in an era where players demand constant dopamine, we'll have to see how players react to these kinds of things. The character wheel would offer 3 combined gameplay options with both protagonists, letting you choose to play as Jason solo, Lucia, or combine the two. In this mode, the other character would appear close by and consistently remain near the main protagonist. This mode would feature an ultra-fast character switch, which we saw in the leaked videos. Both protagonists would look directly into each other's eyes, instantly transferring game control with no loading. It's a really interesting mechanic that we saw leaked, and it seems it wasn't discarded. Ultimately, it would have been perfected for its inclusion in the final game. Its role is so crucial that there will even be missions requiring us to utilize this dual character mode to initiate them. After all, we are playing with a couple, and this mode will make the relationship between these two main protagonists much more important, saving us from the tedious process and all the strange occurrences when we would meet another character in the previous games, because this time around, the game will be specifically designed to directly control both characters simultaneously, as if it was some kind of a cooperative mode where you yourself are effectively playing as both of the players. The character's special ability would focus on shooting. Just like in Red Dead Redemption 2, we could slow down time to shoot, but Jason could fire more shots in this mode than Lucia. As he was a soldier, he'd be the more expert shooter of the two. But the leak adds that at this stage of development, the character's special abilities are total crap and will probably need to be re-evaluated. What I find very strange is that Jason's special ability to steal isn't mentioned, not even for a moment. We saw it in the leaked videos from 2022, and it was a kind of Hawkeye that helped him locate valuable objects inside other people's properties. Either this feature has been removed, or there are multiple modes, like in Red Dead Redemption 2, where you can either shoot or track animals, depending on your current activity. Among the other worst pieces of news this leak would bring was the announcement that the much anticipated and widely discussed social media features for GTA 6 would be in a very immature stage of development. These wouldn't be as well developed as we'd expect, and they'd be practically irrelevant at this point in time. Obviously, Rockstar intends to give a prominent role to the world of social media and the internet within GTA 6, but to hear that in this mid-2025 leak, social media was still only just beginning its development was yet another reason to seriously question that historic May 26th date. We truly had red flags appearing all over the place, and we systematically ignored them, one after another. But if there was one specific leak that truly sent shivers down your spine and was genuinely, profoundly alarming, it was the leak regarding the game's central storyline. As I mentioned in the previous video, the development of GTA 6's story would have become a real hell. Setting aside the terrible work environment, the layoffs, the new alleged crunch scandal, and the protests we already discussed at length in the previous video, GTA 6's development reportedly suffered a small reboot in the final part of its main story. We're specifically talking about Chapter 5 of the story, which would be the last one. But what's more, Chapter 4 would still be incomplete. We're talking about a mid-year leak, where, at that time, there was only 1 year left until the launch. The leak was assuring us that they would have had to cut an important part of the game's ending, rewrite the entire chapter to make it fit, and record, dub, and program the newly modified parts. A truly remarkable achievement for such a limited time frame they had at that point. If only we had paid a little attention to this leak, the delay was more than predictable. The reason for this cut in the game's final chapter remains a complete mystery. Another part of the leak discusses a parallel police storyline involving betrayals within the department. We were able to see this in Trailer 2, where these peculiar images are shown and no one truly comprehends their significance. The northwest corner of the map would not exist, and that would leave a smaller map, possibly without Gloriana. If Rockstar, when they were writing the script, had originally intended for the game's final section to lead us to this specific area of the map, it's quite possible that a reduction in the game's territory might have forced a complete overhaul of the script in Chapter 5 and a significant restructuring of the entire concluding portion of the story, which of course would have caused all the various issues that Rockstar has experienced with the game's release over the past few years. And of course, the absolute hell that this has unleashed and that has been endured by everyone in the offices. But at the end of the day, all of this is just mere speculation, and we cannot truly know if everything that has been said in this leak is actually true. At the end of the day, even if the game role source is credible and has proven its claims, we cannot truly know how much that individual has exaggerated and interpreted what they observed within the company. Employees don't typically know that much, as they are responsible for specific parts of the project, and it's unusual how this person seems to know a bit of everything: map, story, characters, mechanics, and items. GameRoll justifies this by saying that it's a high-ranking official within his department. It is very strange, certainly, that such an important person within the company would leak so many details, but clearly his source is reliable because he accurately identified the names of the main characters, and that, he claims, he overheard during a mission where Jason speaks with Lucia on the phone while inside the prison. And now, this leak begins to make a lot more sense, especially with the game's recent delay. But unfortunately, we won't be able to learn anything further from this. We cannot take this information as an absolute truth, but we also cannot completely dismiss it without considering it, given the precedents. Therefore, all that's left is for you to leave in the comments what you think about this leak, the information I've given you throughout the entire video, and GameRoll's mysterious source. So remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on all the new content that's coming about GTA 6.